What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law, and it is Friday. Friday. Today is the day where we get together and we actually have a really good look at what kind of a matchup we are going to have on Sunday. NFL Sunday. All right. And this week, the Indianapolis Colts travel to Baltimore to face them pesky Ravens that really in the last few years that we've played them, it's been a roller coaster ride for your Indianapolis Colts and for the Baltimore Ravens as fans, right? Both the last two games, the Colts jump out to early halftime leads, and late in the second half, Baltimore and Lamar Jackson always seem to come back and end up winning the game. Could that come into effect this Sunday? Who knows? I hope like heck that it's not a repeat, right? But one thing will be very, very, very different in this game. And no, it's not the health of the team. Because as usual, both teams walking into this game is slammed, absolutely slammed with injuries. Indianapolis Colts, not as many as the Baltimore Ravens, but no less important. All right. Both teams have major injuries to major players, and a lot of those major players aren't going to be in the game. But the big difference in this game is what the weather's going to be like. Starting in like an hour in Baltimore, it's going to start downpouring. And it's not going to stop until Monday. Okay? I'm watching the radar, and it has changed all week. But all week it said there will be rain on Sunday. Well, today the rain is appearing. And now they're saying it's going to be a downpour rain today, tomorrow, Sunday, and then ends on Monday. That means not only is it going to be raining on Sunday, it is going to be a freaking mess on the field. An absolute mess. And that is going to play for a very sloppy game, probably low scoring, and most likely a lot of running and a lot of turnovers. We've already discussed this on Believe in Colts with former NFL guard Donald Thomas. But in this show, I want to go over the injury report for both teams. Guys, please smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, check that notification bell so that you are notified next time we go live or upload a video. And let's get into it. All right. First off, let's take a look at the Indianapolis Colts and their injury report. It's not pretty. Okay? It is not a pretty sight. As I alluded to all week, we have Ryan Kelly with a concussion, Quentin Nelson with a toe, Anthony Richardson with a concussion, Kenny Moore has a knee, Grover Stewart has a foot, and Dallas Flowers has an ankle. That's all problems. Now, I alluded to all week, I didn't think Anthony Richardson was going to get through the concussion protocol. And even if he did, he was probably going to end up sitting. Guess what? He is ruled out. Not a surprise. That's fine. It's going to hurt the Indianapolis Colts and his specifically rookie quarterback development. It's going to set him back a little bit. But under the circumstances, I'd rather him rest and not play in a nasty, sloppy game that's probably going to have a lot of hitting and, a lot of slipping and falling and all that kind of stuff. I'd rather him play when he's ready, right? In a better game, maybe a home game, which would be much, much better. Ryan Kelly, however, is a huge, huge loss for the Colts. I was hoping that he would at least be limited on Thursday. He was not. He did not practice all week. He is also out of this game with concussion. That is going to hurt. That puts Wesley French in at center for the Indianapolis Colts, the second-year center, who did not look great last year as a center. But to be fair, neither did anyone else on this offensive line. Okay? He looked decent against the Houston Texans last week when he came in for Ryan Kelly. But there's a difference between the Houston Texans defensive line, especially their front, and the Baltimore Ravens, that's scary. That is incredibly scary thought process. And anyone in that kind of situation, I absolutely do not want Anthony Richardson in that situation. Give me the veteran who can handle himself at that point in Gardner Minshew. Quentin Nelson with a toe, he's questionable. He played with that toe last week. All right. He sat out all week just because, veteran rest, trying to get that toe right. Full practice on Friday. I fully 100% expect Quentin Nelson to go. Kenny Moore has a knee issue. He played with that knee, right, in the Texans game. He did not practice. He's limited practice, then did not practice, then limited practice. That's just the Colts being safe with him, trying to get that knee healthy for the game. I expect him to play as well. Grover Stewart, limited practice all week. Today, full practice. I expect him to go as well. The biggest question mark is Dallas Flowers, all right? Had an ankle injury at practice today, made him leave the practice early. That hurts. Of the two outside corners between Darrell Baker Jr. and Dallas Flowers, Flowers has been the guy who has really played up to the hopes of him this year, and we are going to need him against some of the wide receivers, especially the rookie that the Ravens have this Sunday. Now, that's big. That's a lot of big names for the Colts, right? Two of them out. One of them, in my opinion, has a chance to miss this game, and that's Dallas Flowers. But the Baltimore Ravens, oh my. Oh, freaking my. Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens, ladies and gentlemen. Wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., ankle. Jadeveon Clowney, sick. Devin Duvernay, shoulder. Justice Hill, foot. Marlon Humphrey, foot. Tyler Lindenbaum, ankle. Odafe Owe, ankle. Ronnie Stanley, knee. Marcus Williams, pec. Of all those guys, the only two people that are playing is Jadeveon Clowney and Devin Duvernay. Everybody else is out. Odell Beckham Jr., out. That's big. That cuts their wide receiving core down a little bit. That's going to help, especially with the fact that Dallas Flowers might not be playing. That's going to help. Justice Hill, foot, out. That's going to limit their running back situation. He is the speedster on this team. He's the guy that runs downhill quickly. Marlon Humphrey, they're by far their best corner, is out in this game, which means, yay, your big target possession receiver, right? A certain receiver for the Indianapolis Colts, some number 11, right? He may get some more targets because the best corner on this team is not covering him now. Tyler Lindenbaum is a solid center for this team, right? They picked him up, young guy, played well, hurt himself. Now they got to go. They had issues with center before Tyler came in. They've had issues finding a good starting center. They finally get one, then he gets hurt. That's going to spell huge for the interior, like DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart. Odafe Owe, the outside linebacker, their pass rusher, ankle, out. That's going to help a ton as well for the Indianapolis Colts offensive line, who is both the tackles, right? You got a young left tackle who's been playing very, very good. Why is he ranked 6th in the NFL right now? And then, of course, Braden Smith, who gave up the only quarterback hit the entire game on the very first play against the Houston Texans. Didn't give up any sacks. There was one hit, and he gave it up on the very, very first play. After that, clean game, rest of the entire offensive line. Let's give them boys a clap. Yes. Now, let's see you do that against the Baltimore Ravens. I don't expect it, especially in this kind of nasty weather, but never know. Tackle Ronnie Stanley out with a knee. That is a monster, huge. Wow. Not only are they missing their center, which is going to be a huge boost for our tackles, our defensive ends, who have been impressive so far this year are going to be able to tee off without that all-pro tackle out there to protect. This could be interest. This could be huge. The Indianapolis Colts front seven defensively is already one of the best in the league. And now Baltimore are missing maybe their two best offensive linemen, right? What in the two most key positions on the team? What? All right, I think the Colts, this could be, especially since this is going to be a sloppy game, it's going to be a lot of running, a lot of run blocking. This is huge. All right, this is huge. And then, of course, safety Marcus Williams with a pec injury. He's out as well. Safeties obviously are a lot of help in the run support, especially in a situation like what we're going to see this upcoming Sunday. Guys, appreciate each and every one of you. Let's go ahead, get back to my original screen here. Appreciate you, DB. Says Ravens are missing Marlon Humphrey, OBJ, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we just went over it, my guy. Hackelman, I was hoping Anthony Richardson would be able to play, but I think we'll be fine. Weather might help. With the concussion that I saw, I was hoping he wouldn't play. Because I don't want a repeat of what happened to Tua last year, right? For the Colts. Get him healthy. We have a very good quality backup, right, in Gardner Minshew. And in a veteran sloppy game like this, I think Minshew will be perfectly fine to play. Reserve. Colts are built for games like this. Well, we all remember 2 years ago in San Francisco, right, when it was basically a daggone monsoon came down, and not only the Colts run the ball well, play defense very well against the San Francisco 49ers. And if there's not a team out there that is similar to Baltimore, it's the Niners. And the Colts whooped them. Not only the Colts whooped the Niners, but a certain number 11, Michael Pittman Jr., had himself a rookie game, right? You remember that? That's when he was out there mossing people. Mossing people. And now Marlon Humphrey's not going to be out there to cover him in this nasty weather. That could be huge. That could be huge. Wish we had a more robust running back room. Well, we got two running backs that I think that'll do okay, especially in a game like this. A game where you set up your blocks, let the blocks set up, then you make your cut and go forward, straight on, and burrow, right? That is the kind of running that this game is going to be like. Patient, let the block set up, and then hit your hole. And Zach Moss is very, very good at that. I'm perfectly okay with Zach Moss running in this game. Perfectly okay. All right. We also beat the Bills in bad weather. Yes, we did. We did beat the Bills in bad weather as well. Absolutely. Guys, appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't smashed that like button, please do so now. It's been huge. This week has been monster for me. I'm dropping, since the beginning of the season, I've been trying to drop at least some kind of content every single day. Every single day. And the response has been absolutely fantastic, right? The response by you guys out here watching my stuff, commenting, liking, all that has been fantastic. I thank you so much. It's been a pleasure covering the Indianapolis Colts for you guys. But right now, I understand that it's Friday. It's nice here in Indiana. I don't know where you guys are at. I know, if you're on the East Coast, it could be dealing with some weather right now. So be safe. But if you're at Indiana, enjoy the weather. It is gorgeous, gorgeous outside. I just hope that you pick up and watch this show afterwards if you're not watching it right now. DJ says, I just hope we don't lose the lead versus Baltimore like last time. Like the last two times. The last two times. Both games, the last two times the Colts played Baltimore, they went up by double digits by halftime and then lost the lead. in either the fourth quarter or overtime. It's been terrible. It's been the Lamar Jackson fourth quarter show against the Indianapolis Colts the last 2 times the Colts faced them. Russell Saylor, is this a full-time job for you, or do you work a job? I do this full-time. That's a great question, Russell. Thanks. Appreciate you. I do this full-time. Normally, I'm sitting here making videos, hanging out, talking to players, like former and current players, and then making content and pushing it out. So we're doing a great job. Do you think the reason we lost the leads was because of Frank Reich? No. Honestly, I don't think that was a Frank Reich situation. I think it was a Matt Eberflus situation. All right. And Matt Eberflus and Gus Bradley are very, very similar. It was a similar situation to how we lost those games against the Texans. We went soft defense in the fourth quarter because we had a lead. And also, we went very conservative play calling wise, right? Which is Frank Reich. But if you go look at the Texans, Shane Steichen went very conservative in his play calling as well, trying to eat clock. Okay. So both the offense and defense last week went conservative. Granted, we had a 3-touchdown lead, but both offense and defense went conservative in their play calling. And that's how we lost our games against Baltimore, because you can't lax at all against Lamar Jackson, period. What up, Chaz? What's going on? We're sitting here talking about Colts, Ravens, and injuries, dude. You know that. I don't want to see soft defenses versus a freaking men. And you're going to back up 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. Lamar sees that and goes, well, hell, that's 10 yards free for me. That's a first down every time I take a snap. Can't do that against this dude. Just can't. Also, Shaquille Leonard is going to have to play better than what he did 2 years ago against Lamar. Lamar made Shaquille Leonard look bad. All right. Shaquille, 2 years ago, when he was playing very good football, Lamar Jackson would make him miss in the open field multiple times. This is a game where you're going to need both your linebackers keeping an eye, right, on Lamar Jackson darn near. Sucks losing Ryan Kelly to injury, shaking my head. I 100% agree, but with Gardner Minshew being the quarterback, that's going to help out a little bit. I think Gardner will be able to help adjust the line protections a little bit more, right? I understand Ryan Kelly is that dude. You know, he makes the mic call, he makes the line protections, and then and then for Anthony Richardson. But a quarterback could do that as well, especially a veteran that's been around for a while like Gardner Minshew. Don't we love him, Chad says. Oh, my goodness. Absolutely. I understand. It's frustrating. But every team has them every week. It is what it is. It's very rare to see after week 1 in the NFL to see an injury report with nobody on it. It's so rare. Do you think our front seven will be dominant considering the injuries on the offensive O-line? I hope so. We've been dominant so far. But the Ravens are no joke at running the football. Even their backups know how to run block well. Okay? So that's going to be an issue. Plus, you got to remember, Harbaugh is a darn good head coach. Really, really good. They got a new offensive coordinator, too, who likes to throw the rock. Okay? Now, are they going to be throwing a lot in a downpour, nasty, sloppy game? Probably not, but don't put it past them. Frank Reich was throwing the rock in that nasty weather in, San Francisco, and that's why we won the game, because we didn't go conservative early on. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Which injury is going to have a bigger impact? Kenny Moore. Kenny Moore will be fine. Kenny Moore played with the same injury last week. Okay. That's the issue. I think he'll play this week. He'll be fine. He was limited and didn't practice, and then limited again, just trying to stay healthy. Same with Quentin Nelson missing 2 practices, but then having a full. Again, both these guys will be fine. Flowers makes me worried. Ravens are very well coached. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. I don't know. That whole AFC North division has got some really good damn coaches over there, right? I mean, between Harbaugh and the Ravens, and you go to Pittsburgh, I absolutely have a ton of respect for their head coach as well, right? So let's see what happens. They got two really, really good head coaches over there in the AFC North. But guys, it's been 20 minutes already. There's 14 of you. I don't know how many. I ain't been checking the YouTube, but if you haven't smashed that like button, please do so. I would really, really appreciate it. This game is going to take on a very, very run centric. I thought it was already going to be incredibly run centric because it being a sloppy game. But with the issues here is you got so many injuries on defense for the Ravens. The Colts may throw the football more than expected, right? I mean, they're missing some key guys over there, right? And what their starting safety, their number one corner, Owen, that's pass defense. That's all pass defense. I think the Colts could pass unless it is like you can't see 3 feet in front of you and there's heavy, heavy winds. Then I think you could throw the football occasionally, even in the rain. As long as the winds aren't heavy, I think you can. And we may do that. Shane Steichen doesn't seem like a guy who is going to pump the brakes in inclement weather. All right. I do expect some things, especially something to fully expect in this game is a lot of misdirection, a ton of misdirection, movement, where you're going to see jet sweeps and end arounds and reverses and things of that nature. Stuff where defenses, they have to make a decision. Am I going with the motion or am I going to stay put? Right? And that's going to help our offense because if they make the wrong decision in a sloppy, inclement weather, that could help your offense a ton because they can slip and slide and not get back into position properly. And a big one can be broke, right? Now, to be fair, the same can be said for the Ravens, right? They can do the exact same thing. We've seen that stuff from the Ravens. So, absolutely. Absolutely. Love to see Andrew Ogletree. We have all of our tight ends, obviously outside of our second year guy that came in with Ogletree, but Jelani Woods. But come on, Kylan Granson and Ogletree and Bo Alley Cox and Will Mallory. Now, Will's not the best blocker, but the other three guys can block and have been blocking very good this year. I can't wait to see, right? You want tight ends in this game that can block and catch. And all three of these guys are weapons, not only in the passing game, but in the running game. I wouldn't mind seeing a lot of 3 tight end setups and just keep the tight end sets and just play out of the tight end sets, right? 3 tight ends, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver. Keep Michael Pittman Jr. out there. Or, in all honesty, keep Alec Pierce out there too. You can keep Alec Pierce or Michael. Alec Pierce has been a freaking blocking monster at wide receiver this year. Have you seen some of the film, right? That he has been laying freaking blocks like nobody's business. What is he, a left tackle? I mean, he has been absolutely outstanding. Where I've seen Michael Pittman Jr. let up off on some blocks. Alec Pierce doesn't. He'll block you all the way up into the cheap seats. He don't care. It'd be nice if he got a few targets once in a while. There's been so many times he's been wide open downfield for big shots, and it doesn't happen. But at least when, he's called to do something, he's doing it. Just wait until Jelani comes back. Jelani's not the best blocker either, right? He's more of a big, tall Will Mallory. But still, that's just more weapons for this offense, right? Wow. Sup? Sup, King? Love to chat, but I'm start of the show. Pierce had been blocking like a beast, and he is getting open a lot. You're absolutely yes. A lot of people don't realize it, but he absolutely has been. Guys, I don't think I'm going to be here a whole lot longer. I'm going to try to keep this under 30 minutes, but I appreciate all of you. My adjustments to this game is staying the same. I still have this a very close 3-point game. I saw the injury report earlier. I wasn't 100% sure that, who was going to be in, who was going to be out. I was planning on Ryan Kelly playing, but then again, I wasn't planning for 9/10, like half the Ravens starting, team is out, right? 7 out of 22 people. That's a third of their starters is out of this game, right? I mean, that's just nasty. That's just nasty. Okay. So I think that makes up for Ryan Kelly being out. So I'm going to keep it as is. I still think it's going to be a 17-14 game. I still have the Ravens winning, but one turnover, one change of possession, one mistake, Indianapolis Colts could very well come out of this game with a win. All right. And I hope they do. And if they walk out, it won't change. Been a lot of questions about whether or not, if the Colts beat the Ravens, would that change national, visual of this game of the Indianapolis Colts? No, it won't. Because there'll be an asterisk beside the win because the Ravens were so banged up. Plus, it was a sloppy, rainy game, and there was just too many things out there. That's what they'll go on. And they won't give the Colts credit for a win. It wouldn't matter if the Colts beat them 30-10, okay? They still won't give the Colts credit because of the situation they're walking into. That's if the Colts win. But yeah. I'm not going to look ahead to the Titans, DJ. I'm keeping my eye on this game right now. That's what I want to do. They're going to sleep on us. They have been sleeping on us. No one picks the Colts to win anything. We weren't picked to beat the Texans. No one, right, is picking us to beat the Ravens. Nobody. I mean, to be fair, I'm not either. But I'm saying it's possible. I'm like putting up a 3-point differential here. All right. Whereas I think one person has the Colts, even having a close game in this and all those. It's just nasty. Nasty. After last year, the Colts are not trusted anymore. Well, I'll tell you what. There's a huge difference between last year's Indianapolis Colts and this year's Indianapolis Colts. This year's Indianapolis Colts, right off the bat, through 2 games, our offense looks competent. You could tell right out the gate, first 2 games, our offense was not competent last year. We had good defense, good special teams. Our offense was ass right out the gate. Lost us a lot of games. This year, offense is competent. Defense is playing very good. And let's face it, the special teams has taken a really massive backward slide, right? Massive backward slide. So it's the special teams that's hurting us right now instead of our offense. Now, look, if there's one group of people that I'd rather have a issue with, it would be special teams over offense and defense. But I'd like to see all 3 clicking on all cylinders, right? And it very well could possibly do that since we do have a new special teams coach. Could just be taking, and a lot of new special teams players, could just be a few weeks before we start to see them start to gel and start playing a lot better. And then, of course, Rigoberto Sanchez, last week he did a little better in punting than what he did week 1. He still had a bad punt, but he had a good punt too. So, and when I say good, I mean really good. So we'll see how that works out. Deep, yeah, you're amen. I mean, look at when you say defense couldn't keep us at all the games last year. This is what I'm talking about. All right. The Vikings game. Literally, the Colts jumped out to a 31-0 lead. And it was all the points were basically scored by defense and special teams. Defense scored a touchdown. Special teams scored a touchdown. Defense gave the ball to the Colts in the red zone. You know, it was huge in the first half. But the offense never really could move the ball very well. And because they couldn't move the ball, they didn't fix it in the second half. And the Vikings were able to make a big comeback because the defense was gassed out of their minds because, it was constantly 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out for the Colts offense. It's stupid. No. Bubba Ventrone left in the offseason. He's now with the Browns. And then once he went to the Browns, that's where Rodney McLeod left and went to the Browns because he really liked not only did he like the Browns, but he wanted to be with a team that, hopefully would have, playoff hopes. And the Colts moved on from him, even though he was incredibly good for us last year. Rodney McLeod was. We have a lot of youth that they want to get in there and playing with, the whole new youth thing that the Colts have. So, but guys, thanks so much. Like I said, I didn't really want to stay over 30 minutes, but I have. Appreciate each and every one of you. Please smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time I go live, upload a video. Please go check out my Patreon. It's only $5 a month. Patreon only videos are on there, including film rooms. I got one already. I'm going to have another one. I'm going to have a film room on this Ravens game. It's going to be Patreon only. So make sure you go check that out too a month. Check out donations. If you want to help donate to the channel, feel free to do that. Use the link in the description as well where it says donations. And it works just like a super chat. Even though I'm not here, I will bring it up on the next show. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. Can't wait for Sunday for Colts versus Ravens. And as usual, have a good one.